Okay, welcome back to the show. Thanks again to our sponsors. This is the Financial Wake Up Show with Daniel Choi, KCAA Radio, your local NBC News affiliate. On location again at the Cove, UC Irvine, attending the Sports One Marketing Amp Up event featuring best-selling author David Meltzer and Hall of Fame quarterback Warren Moon's great company. Our next guest is another one of the amazing sponsors that we've got here today. I'm speaking to Ben Anderson, who's the owner of Ben Anderson 365.
Yes, sir.
The innovator of something he's going to explain called the Mortgage Revolution. It's going to address giving innovative mortgage solutions to clients. He's here to tell us more about his firm and what they're really here to do. Ben, good afternoon. Welcome to the Financial Wake Up Show. How are you today?
Pleasure. Best day of my life. Thanks for having me.
Excellent. So let's start with this concept, which you and I got to talking earlier about.
Yes.
The mortgage revolution, what your firm really does. Tell us the purpose of Ben Anderson 365.
Well, simply the platform is a landscape and a direct path for mortgage bankers to help the industry get better. And what we do is we've created a whole plan based on me really working 18, 20-hour mortgage days for the past 15 years. I know what works and what doesn't work. And there's a growing problem, and that's training loan officers. They don't really have a plan, right? Like most people don't have a plan in general when they finish passing a test, but in the mortgage business, there really is no one-way plan to succeed because banks don't invest back in loan officers as far as training goes. So as a borrower and a customer, how do you know you're getting the best mortgage advice? You really don't. You don't know how long the person on the other phone's been in the business, what type of accolades they have, are they successful in their own right? Like, do you know if the guy that's selling you a home loan even owns a home? The biggest investment of your life could be handled by someone that doesn't know what he's doing, and that's the problem. So what we've done is created a way and a system for mortgage bankers to be better at their job. Because I'm just saying, here's what I've done for 15 years. Enough with these secrets, enough with these real estate agents not giving care about their customers, enough with these loan officers not wanting to give their secret recipe. I'm changing that, I'm being transparent, and I'm making sure that you know exactly what to do to be successful.
And I'll tell you, Ben, that's really refreshing to hear because in reviewing thousands of cases myself, from a planning standpoint, I can't tell you how many mortgages I've seen that are designed poorly.
Right.
Or not designed in the best interest of the client.
Right.
Or refied 15 times for some odd reason, you know? So it's good to hear you're providing that. Give us a little history. You mentioned 15 years in the industry. What's some of the history that you have behind building this company to where it is today?
I mean, this is PG rated, so I can't really explain everything I've seen in this business, but The Big Short is legit, right? So I've seen everything. I've seen the market crash. I've seen the shadiest of shade ever happen in the business before the market got corrected. And I've hung in there when most people quit the business. So I've done it for 15 years, hard. I never quit. And in 2008, when people were pretty much jumping out of buildings, the one thing I did, which was good, was I stayed. And I remember to this day being in a mortgage office that had 2,000 people at one point, and I was the last guy there, and the company couldn't even pay its bills. So here I am, and when I saw a loan officer leave after loan officer leave after LO leave, I saw what they left behind was their customers. Because in that days we used paper. There was really no internet transactions. So I saw stacks and stacks and stacks of paper, and to me, those resembled relationships that were being left behind. So I said, look, if I just am the last one in the building, I'll get all the relationships, and I still have those customers today. So I remember even to this day, the lights shutting off in our building, there being no electricity, me having stacks of files by a window, sitting on a milk crate, feeding off the light coming in, using my cell phone. So that's how I built my business, was by doing what other people were afraid to do, take care of people, work harder, have grit, and be tough. And so a lot of those customers are mine today. So when I say I am ready to show these loan officers how to be successful, it's because I've been through everything. I have not seen one thing that surprised me in many, many years. And I can tell them how to take care of their customers. And by doing that, you build an annuity out of that client.
Tell me about your mindset there. I mean, the ship's sinking. Everyone's jumping off. How do you stay focused and stay in the game?
Well, I mean, it was terrifying because you hear the financial meltdown and you hear that there's going to be no more banking. But I thought, I mean, that doesn't make sense because what is there going to be no more buying and selling of homes? It's not like someone was coming in with a crane and a train and just bulldozing houses. So I said, someone's got this wrong. This is emotional. So I've always been able to, because I was an athlete, compartmentalize my emotions and figure out what's the right move to make no matter how rough the game might be. So in that moment, I thought to myself, I said, you know what? The market's crashing, but is it really crashing or is it just going to be changing? And I'm willing to adapt and to be changeable. I can transform into something that might come out different, but maybe it's for the better. So I saw what people did not see, just like The Big Short. What they saw was a market crashing, and what I saw is more opportunities coming in the same kind of way.
Yeah, we've talked about that with regards to the stock market a lot on the show. And that same mentality of the biggest gains are usually after the crash.
Exactly.
And you were there to experience a lot of that, so I commend you for that.
Thank you.
What are some of the solutions you provide? So you're giving this education, this platform for other people to grow. What are some of those solutions?
Well, I was talking to a guy out of North Carolina yesterday who was in the car industry. And he said, look, I jumped into mortgage because I wanted to make more money. I said, okay, that's great. What's your biggest struggle so far? And he said, my struggle has been in the car business, leads just pile in every single day. And they come in because people are shopping online, our product's out there in the open, but in the mortgage business, I actually have to go get customers. No one tells you when you pass a test that you actually have to be an entrepreneur to make this business work. So I teach loan officers to be entrepreneurs. I teach them how to go get business on their own, how to build their own brand, how to use social media, how to use media in general, how to use video for messaging, how to start their day and finish their day, how to have a good mindset, I give them all my sales scripts. So everything that I've truly done, I'm a huge follower of people that are transparent and willing to share openly their ideas. So I can only get the industry to get a lift if I get these loan officers to get better at what it is that they do.
We're here at this amazing event. We heard some good talks. We saw some magic, which was kind of fun.
That was really cool.
Yeah. How do you make the decision to say, I'm going to take my company, Ben Anderson 365, and team up with Sports One Marketing and sponsor this type of deal?
Well, it's easy. They believe in the gift of giving just like I do. So I grew up where my parents run an inner city rescue mission. So I had no choice but to see that side of the world and humanity early on. So giving back is something that I not only believe in, but I had to do because I worked at a soup kitchen since I was 12 years old. And it was easy to see the difference between, I grew up pretty poor, but there's pretty poor and then there's pretty poor. So I know the difference in someone that has a roof over their head and someone that doesn't have even a car over their head. And so understanding the human humility drew me into Sports One Marketing because Dave is such a giver. He's such a person that wants to give back and help people. So we connected on that level immediately. He saw how I took care of my customers, how I took care of my employees, and we just immediately hit it off and he's just sort of like a neighbor, but also a mentor and a friend.
Wow. It's another great piece to your story is how that all started. Well, we share a commonality there. I did a lot of volunteer work at a soup kitchen.
Did you? That's amazing.
Yeah, when I was younger in San Francisco, and it was very, very eye-opening, life-changing.
Nice. My parents' mission's in the Bay Area.
Oh, is that right?
It's in Richmond. You know Richmond?
Yes, of course. I grew up in the Bay Area.
So you know Richmond's not like a place you want to go like stroll in the park.
Have you heard of St. Anthony's?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I did all my volunteers.
Nice.
Yeah, so
that's amazing.
Here we are just catching up about old times.
I love it.
What's the best way for our listeners to get a hold of you, find out more about you? Sounds like you have a social media presence. Tell us about that.
Well, so number one, I try to answer every single email, every single text before I go to bed. So if anybody has a question about mortgage, they can text me. My number is 949-302-7255. 949-302-7255, and I'll text you back. I'll just give you advice. I don't care. So our company's Ben Anderson 365. You can follow us on Instagram. We're Ben Anderson Live, and we're at benanderson365.com. And my email address, I'll give you two. I have the one is our mortgage side. If you got a mortgage question, is banderson@lend.us. So let's just keep it to that one to keep it simple. So email banderson@lend.us. You can text me or call me at 949-302-7255 or follow us on Instagram at Ben Anderson Live.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Ben, for spending your afternoon with us to shed some light on your business, what you've done so far in creating and addressing this mortgage revolution. I'm glad our listeners got to hear you. We hope you have a good rest of the day.
Can't wait. I'm honored.
All right. We're going to take another break. When we get back, we've got more to bring. You're listening to the Financial Wake Up Show. Daniel Choi, KCAA Radio, the station that leaves no listener behind.